It's the Joe Padula Show, Clarksville's conversation.
Absolutely. Yep, hey, they took down a video of ours yesterday.
Which one was that?
YouTube. Oh, and I got notifications from Facebook telling me to stop spreading false information about COVID-19. When we were playing a doctor doing his state senate testimony
That one?
yesterday about a miracle drug that the doctor says out of his thousands of cases, 100% effective in preventing and curing a certain disease that may or may not be out there right now.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
Like a doctor, I took the video clip from the state senate hearing, his testimony, where he raises, you know?
Yeah. Actual testimony.
Yeah.
And they took it down.
They go, "Bleh."
No.
Not a strike, it's a warning. Next one's going to be a strike, they said.
Uh-oh.
On YouTube.
What's the rules? Is it like baseball, 3 strikes and you're out?
That was it sounding like.
Does baseball have warnings?
We were covering
I guess
news.
it's a ball, right?
We were covering news and was even asking questions about the doctor.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's crazy out there. It is crazy out there. So, hey, let's get right into it with since we're talking about all of this nonsense going on. Because YouTube now says that we can't talk about the election unless we say Joe Biden has won. And
It's not official yet, is it?
well, according to YouTube, it is. And also,
The election's not till next week, right?
Yeah, the 14th, right?
Lawyer Wayne, I thought that's how it works out.
So you just put a disclaimer at the bottom of the video, or do you have to outright say, preface everything you say?
Projected winner. I think that's more the proper term.
Well, we're going to get into this all. We're going to test out this theory right now. Okay, so if we go blank, you know what happened. And do us a favor, all right? Help us out. Make sure to click that like button. Hit the notification bell, definitely. But, I mean, the best way you could do this is share this, you know, whether it's in your groups, whether it's in your links, the pages, whatever. You know, that's the only way we can do this. And while you hit that notification, you got to make sure to hit that notification bell, too. I hate going over this all the time, but you have to do it. Because, man, not only do they suppress, but they now remove these things. Check this out. This is the email I got this morning. It was about YouTube removing videos and content that allege widespread voter fraud in 2020 presidential election. Starting today, all right, given that we will start removing any piece of content uploaded today or anytime after that misleads people by alleging that widespread fraud or errors change the outcome of the 2020 election. In line with our approach towards historical U.S. presidential elections. So, yeah. Real quick, what can we talk about, like, elections in England?
I don't know.
Can we talk about, you know, election frauds in other countries? Is this just U.S.?
It's kind of weird. It's frustrating because, you know, YouTube's going to set themselves up to be the arbiter of what's true or not. We have an episode where I go on the record saying that Abraham Lincoln does not exist. And I presented
Conspiracy
that
Theory
case.
Thursdays, right?
I don't think we can do Conspiracy Theory Thursdays anymore if they're going to have policies like this.
Videos, they wanted to say, videos claiming President Trump or any other candidate besides President-elect Joe Biden won the 2020 election.
Wait, so I can't say that Joe Jorgensen won?
Right.
That's
right.
not allowed either?
Due to widespread software glitches or counting errors. For example,
Russia rigged it
yeah.
in 2016?
And those videos will be removed.
No.
You want to test it?
Of course.
No.
Always test it.
No. I think we ought to be good little boys.
Oh, I just got a
and
notification
do
from...
what Facebook and YouTube tell us to do.
No, that's China, man. That's
Why gotta bring China into it?
Because that's how China
doesn't
controls
even
their
allow
social
YouTube.
media. No, of
Yeah.
course they do. They just... You can only say this. You can only do this. This is what China does. This is crazy.
You know, they have their own version of TikTok in China. They don't even have regular American TikTok.
I know.
It went on to say, YouTube will allow news covering issues related to the 2020 election, so as long as there is sufficient education, documentary, scientific, or artistic context.
What about facts?
That's what I'm saying.
That is artistic context.
Here's what they're doing. It's all about the corporate media, and I hate being that corporate, because I get the function of corporates, the corporations, absolutely, but they just want those mainstream media channels. Like, take what Newsmax has done in the last couple weeks here, where they have now beat Fox in the ratings. Did you see that? It was just a blip in the radar, but it was a, hey, we're here. Same thing with that OAN, that is pro-Trump. They are no longer allowed to monetize. And that brings us to, what were we talking about in the car, Bay? Section 230? The difference between a publisher and a platform. Right now, YouTube and these other social media sites, they are very well protected because of Section 230.
They're allowed special privileges.
Where they are deemed as platforms. Okay? But now they're acting like publishers.
Yeah. By editing.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you tell these people, okay, take, I don't know, your local newspaper. They hire you. Right. Okay, as an outside source or whatever. Or they say, hey, you can write for us. We'll share ad revenue with you. That sounds familiar, YouTube, right? Monetization. That's how it is. Well, those are publishers. Platforms, that you have your securities and your safety nets, because it was decided in 1997 that, hey, these future sites, they even knew back in 97 when they did all this stuff. They're like, listen, you got these platforms, you got these internet, you got these chat rooms. You don't want AOL being held responsible for, so-and-so having this and this.
We don't want Facebook to get sued because Joe Padula says something that somebody doesn't like.
Right.
It's not Facebook. Facebook doesn't control you.
Right.
And they're not responsible for what you say.
Right. But
was the hope.
With that being said, now they're able to control what I say, making them a publisher. They should literally lose that 230 status.
Because they're essentially curating the content.
Right.
It's frustrating for us because they want to have it both ways. They want to be able to say, we're not responsible for the content on this site, except we want to be able to pick what content we allow on this site.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned Facebook doesn't want to get sued. Well, guess what? They're getting sued. Did you see this? 48 states. We have 50, by the way. Trivia. 48 states are set to launch a legal assault on Facebook over claims of antitrust violations.
Who the 2 states that's not suing?
Bang, that's a good point. The lawsuit seeks to break up Mark Zuckerberg's social media empire. So the federal antitrust authorities and dozens of states are set to launch a double-barreled legal assault against Facebook over allegations of antitrust violations. Both lawsuits aim to force Facebook to break up its empire, which includes messaging services, WhatsApp, and photo-sharing app Instagram.
I hate antitrust.
Attorney generals from 48 states and territories include New York and also Tennessee, by the way, on the list. Are behind the suits. At first, they hinted at it last week, but now, boom, the second suit filed by the FTC is set to file later today. I think it's already in motion. So the case is they accuse Facebook of illegally using its power for more than a decade to push out rivals and buy out rising competitors. That's what they've been doing. Like when they bought WhatsApp.
Right.
And when they bought Instagram.
I ain't got no problem with that. That's just business doing what business want to do.
Yeah, but...
you see a good product, add it to your, you either got to compete with them or buy them out.
But I have to disagree with you a little bit there, Lawyer Wayne. Just due to these antitrust laws that are set in place. Which was designed back in the day, remember, Big Oil was buying everything, Big Steel was buying all the small companies.
True, but think about it this way. Intellectual property exists totally different from, say, natural resources.
Okay.
If I own all the oil fields, I control all the oil, right? If I own the songs of the Beatles, right? I control
Michael
the
Jackson?
songs of the Beatles. But that doesn't stop you from having other songs, right? You can't have a monopoly on ideas because people can always create new ones. You and I can go out and start a new company tomorrow, and unless Facebook has like a way to actually stop us from creating a new platform, a new like Parler or Gab or any of these other alternatives, you can't really they can't really fight them directly the way an oil company can buy up all the rights to the land. So I'm not so worried about antitrust when it comes to things like computer applications, software, things like that.
Speaking about states going to legal battles, as we talked about very well yesterday, go check it out with Texas going into the Supreme Court election lawsuits, a bid to protect integrity Constitution. The Texas Attorney General, Ken Paxton, well, he said that the lawsuit, which was filed with the Supreme Court against the states of Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, is a bid to protect election integrity and abide by the Constitution. As we went into it pretty deep yesterday. If you want to go check it out, just go check out the videos from yesterday. But yeah, it's saying that the states violated their own state constitutions, violating the federal Constitution, where they changed laws at not the legislative level, but at their governor levels, at their executive levels, at their judge levels, their judicial levels. Yeah. So and this is a pretty big one because it goes after the four of them, and if it does find out when it does go to the Supreme Court, that's what I'm saying. If you remove the states of Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan from the Electoral College, because if it does find out that SCOTUS stands for Supreme Court of the United States, Supreme Court says, hey, your election was unconstitutional because you changed legal laws, but not through the legal process.
But
can't count your Electoral colleges this election. Sorry, nobody gets 270 now. Then it goes to the states, where the states then have one vote each in their legislation, and combine those states, it's 27 Republican states versus the 22, and then there's an oddball in there.
Okay.
Which makes Donald Trump. Here it comes. Are we going to get banned? Donald Trump, the reelected president of the United States, if it goes that route.
Sounds like a long way.
I got to throw that in there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it have to happen really soon?
The dates, everyone would say, oh, December 8th, right? That's when none of that has ever been written in law, that a certain date for this. When it all comes down to it is who's going to be sworn in on Election Day. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff going on. Almost as crazy as Hunter Biden. It's the most truest things I've ever heard in my life. I've never heard such articulation in my life before.
Donald Trump, don't trust
That
China.
guy's-
China is
I
asshole.
bet that guy's dead by now.
Donald
Dead or in
Trump, don't
a
trust
Chinese
China.
jail
China is
somewhere.
asshole.
Because they cracked down on
Donald
Hong
Trump,
Kong. It was in Hong Kong.
China is
right?
asshole.
And go circling all back, completing the circle on this one, okay? With YouTube, the whole bit, all right? YouTube is owned by Google. Google's owned by Alphabet. Look at the connections to Alphabet and China, okay? I'm telling you. When I say YouTube is doing, well, you can't make a video unless you admit Joe Biden is the new president. That sounds very, 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 what's the word I'm looking for? China.
Well,
Donald Trump, don't
and those
trust
companies
China.
do work in
China
China
is
have to.
asshole.
If you think about what these companies are doing in America, if they're working in a country like China, they have to crack down. They have to be working hand in hand with the government to make sure only the approved things are on there.
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China's asshole.
So, real quick, where
What's
did
up, brother?
Where did that directive come down from? As far as you can't say or talk about politics unless you mention Joe Biden on YouTube.
That's just YouTube saying that.
Yeah, that's
YouTube
YouTube.
came out
Yeah.
and said that.
Yeah.
Dang.
I know.
That's wild.
Like, bro. Like, we can't even discuss, I guess, the video of the handoff of that USB drive and the buckets of votes allegedly coming out from underneath the table. That was allegedly on a closed circuit video camera. That was
you talk about the yawn?
Yeah, the yawn. You know, the yawn heard around the world, right? Well, not heard anymore. China's asshole. All right, let's move forward. Okay, let's move forward. Hey, let us know what you think. Okay, definitely fill us in. Type in your words. We'll check out your comments in just a moment. Type them in. Share away. Crazy.
All right. It's the Joe Padula Show. Bada bing. Clarksville's conversation.